Attention gamers. Today I would like to talk about bouncy Britney Spears in this Ashe hole because I haven't seen much of these ladies lately, but I think they have a lot of potential as tanks. So let's break down the RAV reasoning real quick. Last week Riot announced that ADCs need a buff in the bot lane because basically, they suck. But if you drill into the conversation a bit deeper, you will see that they can't buff them too much because then they would be too strong in solo lanes. Get exploited, Riot, you tit lickers. RAV just revealed that ADCs are supposed to be played in solo lanes, so time for me to continue on with my adventures of ADC booger builds with Grasp by taking these ladies into the top lane. The Beefcake booger build benefits Hoppy Helen because the more damage you can take, the more toothpicks you can stab into your opponent so that you can spend your rens to send your friends straight back to the graveyard. And this shit just never gets old. And the build benefits Legolas's wife because just like a top lane tank, good Ashes can engage for their team. But she can also peel for teammates when their greedy goblin assholes get them in trouble. And now that she has been picking boogers all game, she can miss position and sit through a barrage of different abilities, just like a typical top lane tank. And let's not forget that being a ranged top laner always comes with the possibility of tilting the shit out of your enemy. In my first game on Bouncy Britney, the Golden Gravedigger had to call in backup from the spinning shitter to stop the bully fest, which turned out poorly for them, so he came back a few minutes later, but the two of them just couldn't tickle these tits the way they wanted to. Add a few toothpick pops to tilt the hunchback of all chat flame. And me consuming my jungler only to shit him out onto Mr. Triggered Trash, and we have successfully prompted a rage quit. My only regret is not getting my farewell message to him sooner. Then when playing Ashe, the first kill on the Mohawk moron prompted a slight indication that he was going to get annoyed. Which was escalated when he thought his little bitch bubble was going to help him stomp this squishy tush. And then a few enforcements of the no running from RAV rules seemed to have set him over the edge. So I continued my terror, and my teammates seemed to have appreciated the work this tanky Ashe hole was doing up top. So if you are pumped to see some solo lane tanky ADC and enjoy this content, slap a wet whack on that upward thumb and subscribe for more. Also, the first RAV merch launch went live today, so check out the link in the description for some limited time only sick designs and apparel that you can rock to represent this igloo. The game starts off with Gator Gary trying to cheese out an early slice and dice, but I let him know that the only thing getting diced this game will be the cock on that croc as I shove a few toothpicks in him and wave goodbye with my E key. Then the reptile is slobbering on the statue, so I shove a few spears up his shithole to reveal that his foxy cousin is visiting from Suckassville and she represents her hometown well. Then I give one more minty Q-tip to the gator and back off because I just know my walking vending machine and the blue bull will come in to finish Rav Daddy's business. The cow burns a totally necessary flash to cook the croc, and then the dumbasses somehow didn't see the Failed Tales performance that ended in our bushes, so I do a ping ping to command my army of idiots over there. The barn animals go on a cute walk together as he starts to make a necklace for her, but she is afraid of commitment and flashes away, which makes him a mad cow as the vending machine finally realizes that he pieced out prematurely earlier, and I stab a few toothpicks in those tails and pop them for the kill. I just finished a dope shopping spree at the outlets when I see Wally the walking PC from 2003 is back and ready to rock the reptile again, and I am always down to clown with a camping jungler, so we gooch grab the gator till he blows his temper, but I have spear stabbed him enough to send him back to base. With the gator gone, I decide to make a quick trip to Suckassville to visit Golden Lucifer. The fox wasn't expecting company until later and tries to peace, but she gets called back and told not to be rude. She really doesn't want me to see her without makeup on, but her and her bale tails die to a fire as she flees. I come back a few minutes later to see if the bitch will make me some muffins now, but she still refuses to host and just pink pepper sprays me instead as the wall shits out a wheat farming ram, so I go full Britney Spears and sing "Oops I Did It Again" as I send the horny reaper home. Then the teams are just throwing shit at each other from a safe social distance when Crocodile Dundee Dickwad comes scooting in, so I flash from the dash and then put a few spear shitters in the roided reptile as the cow demands we all jump, and I send the gator home. Then the party seems to be dying down, so I ingest the vending machine to order a Dr. Pepper punch on those pussies, but he wimps out and wastes my quarters instead. A few minutes later and I try to order a Dr. Pepper again, and this time he delivers it to Reaper Randy right as he poops himself out of the wall, and we take home some more gold. Then we set the record for least damage on a Nunu ult, and the bull jumps in to wave goodbye to Pinky Fresh as she runs away. But the joke is on her because our blue bull is a winner of the Innovator of the Year award and shows his creativity with a surprise get headbutted bitch which allows us to perform a coordinated slap fest on the fox. Then I tell Uber Eats Sivir to waft a pizza in the air to bait in the alligator and it works as the sped shitter earns himself some spears and has to dash away as I get stuck in a piss puddle. Milk Duds does a flash ground pound to knock him up and I alley-oop the alligator back to base. Then I am just bush baiting when the little mouse comes in to get some toothpicks so I suck up the walking ATM and chuck him at the little rat, at which time I could have pressed E or ignite to kill him but my sped ass does neither as he gets away and I settle for my 10th serving of gator instead. Then I do a slick spear snipe on the doomed dumbass to make it 11. It's now that time in the game where we are all grown up enough to start jerking off worm wieners in the river so my team starts to get freaky and I play a little border patrol bouncy bodyguard to make sure this ram and his reaper don't get any ideas. Then we see Tom and Jerry on their way to the jerk-off jam so we follow them in and I right-click simulator for a bit before jamming my elbows into my E key to turn that little kitten into a stray so my team can come over and play a quick game of Pinata the Pussycat. But the game actually turned out poorly for Rav because even though this gator made sure we were all well fed, my teammates unanimously decided that giving up would be a better option than building grievous wounds against the 1, 2 and 30-1 Yumi. So hats off to the 26 deaths that my mid and jungler worked so hard to achieve and let's hop deep in some ashhole. Okay, here is proof that you don't need to get ahead or smurf to be a total ashhole late game with this build. For example, you can start off the game by blindly overextending while holding charges on your warding totem as if they earn interest when you don't spend them, all while treating your mini-map like it's as useful as a poopy-flavored lollipop. Add someone thinking it would be a funny prank to keep ordering male strippers to be delivered to your lane and you get a sad 1 and 3 start with less than 30 hooded minion murders almost 8 minutes into the game. So now it's time for me to welcome these scrub daddies to the igloo and come back Rav this bitch. Snarky Barky now thinks he can just summon his tidal wave of vines but when his meat-spinning cousin isn't around to schlong slap me, he can hold me down all he wants but eventually I will break free and kite him through my pissed-off hooded midget employees till they help me chop him down. Then the fat oak tree is just determined to prove that he is totally useless without his feathered-up boy band stripper coming in to bail him out as he greeds again and I keep the ween of that obese willow slowed till he flashes and I follow the leader to deliver some tic-tacs for the kill. A minute later and I am just giving a few midget employees some negative performance feedback when I see a wild twinkle shit with blue buff that I want so I roid up an arrow and stick it in those frosted tips before launching a snow cone and lighting the twerp on fire. Then Barky the boosted bitch immediately regrets trying to intervene as I play a long game of tickle the timber as the tree tries to flee from this G, but I chase with glee, and take a fat pee on that tree for free. Then while my team is off forming a single file line to be transported back to base, I am over here knocking down these stone bodyguards like a boss before I start to head home and Chippendale Charlie comes running back to rub my ear lobes with his feathers again, but I am having none of it so I stun the man slut and then eat a full falcon punch like it's just an appetizer before slow-moing his great escape and sending him back to his pimp. Then Lantern Larry shows the Chippendale that he isn't the only hooker in town and we chase the flamboyant peacock deep into the woods as I keep Mr. White Tights nice and slow and 2 Chains does nothing useful except peep over the wall and stroke his half chub. Skelly Boy proves one more time that there are more reliable hookers and then I get in a tanky slap fest and aerial banged by the dying pole dancer. Then 2 Chains gets caught out so we come in to back up our boy as he flashes out of a banana bomb and we tickle the twinkle shit. Then Beer Belly Beard Boy brings a keg to the party and since this ashhole is now tanky, I just sit in the middle of the fight without the slightest worry of being one shot like a normal ADC as I perform my role as the glue gunner to keep these puppies nice and slowed until their Ubers get here to take them back to base. We catch the water boy filling up his cooler in the river but he flashes out and I skillfully ult in the complete opposite direction out of total respect for his efforts to keep his team hydrated. Our chase of the fat water boy brings us down to the bot lane where 2 Chains is playing leapfrog with a dead dock worker and when the midget mummy band-aids the turtle I ask if I can play too but he gives me the cold shoulder so I give him the snow cone. Then we all focus on chopping down the obese birch tree, so someone tell Mr. Beast that I planted another tree to make up for chopping this one down. Then shift-shitting Twinkle Tits thinks he's going to escape this tanky wrath so I whip out one of the 9-foot long arrows I keep in my quiver to stun him and send him back to base. I am not sure I can make an argument for my value in this last fight, but you can be damn sure that a normal ADC wouldn't be able to endure 1/10 of the abuse I took during this shit fest as I turn this asshole into a 3200 health punching bag and distract the stripper long enough for my team to finish off the fight. This prompts a surrender and we take home the W with this tank still representing a long win on the damage meters. So at this point I would just like to say,
buy my merch because this igloo will be taking over the entire platform one day.
And everyone give some love to Ahmad to bring him out of the corner of shame. And for those of you who are like Ahmad, keep commenting and I promise I will send some love your way when I can. Pet your dog, jerk your ween and brush your teeth tonight. Rav out.